Hey everyone, welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Welcome especially all collectors and all people who get change in US money. So I bought something and I got a bunch of coins back. So I was looking through them and I found this 1989p US dime. But let's take a look at some of the other coins first. We'll look at that dime, but let's look at some of the other coins first. So this one here, geez, this is just dirty, right? This is a $quarter or 25-cent piece from the United States of America. You can see Washington, you can see Liberty and God We Trust. And if we flip it over, we see this is one of the national monument ones. This is weird. Mount Rushmore. South Dakota, E Pluribus Unum, 2013. So this is a South Dakota dime I got back in quarter I got back in my change. Got another quarter back. What's this one? Oh, this is the 1995. This greening is just from it wearing out. There's some copper inside of it, of course, and the copper will green sometimes, and there's an eagle on the back. So that's a 1995. Again, not really worth any money. And we got some nickels. There's a 1997p. In the 1997p nickel, sometimes you get this kind of funky P over here. This one looks, it kind of leans and bows. This one looks a little bit like that, but it's in such used condition that it should be of any value. And there's the FS there at the bottom. The initials, the engraver, and then of course we have, let's go down, we have Monticello on the back, and this actually does have a little bit of steps on this one. And that's what you look at for nickels. You look at the steps, but again, no real value for this nickel. We got, and of course the nickel's a 5 cents coin. It doesn't say nickel anywhere on there. It's made of nickel. We got a 2014 Shield penny. We got a 1970 penny. That's not bad to get in your change. So we got a 50-year-old penny in our change. Again, no real value. There's Lincoln, and there's a Lincoln Monument, and there's Lincoln Way inside. But it's nice to have, if this would be a good one if you didn't have this year. It's got some really nice toning in there. What's the next one we have? We're running out. There's a 2000 D for Denver. There's the D down there under the date, and that's a Denver Mint. There are some 2000 coins that have some rim issues and some doubling and some miss hits. But this is not one of them that I can tell. And then finally, this is the one I got that I was really interested in, and it's a 1989 US dime. Now, many people don't know where the term dime came from, and dime actually came from the Old French, which was taken from the Latin. Initially, it was D-I-S-M-E, and pronounced dime, as we still pronounce it, which came from the Latin word decimal, which is 1/10. So this coin actually was first minted in the Coinage Act of 1792. If you look up the United States Coinage Act of 1792, which is when we first started our country, you'll see that it's written D-I-S-M-E. But it was always pronounced dime, and people always called it a dime. And it's never had the 10 cents on it anywhere. It's always just been a dime. Liberty in front of Roosevelt, In God We Trust under his chin. JS down here, and the JS down here is for John Sinnock, S-I-N-N-O-C-K, who was the engraver of this coin. And then over here we see 1989 in a P. And actually, if we look at this closely, we see some rim doubling or rim splitting here. And if we tip it up, we can really see that there's kind of a doubling of the rim there. That happened, unfortunately, frequently in 1989. So if you want to look for some error coins, you can find some with the rim doubling or rim splitting over here. Mostly on eBay, you can find these coins, error versions of these coins, anywhere from, $4 to $50. But this one, even though it does have some rim splitting on here, right there, is not of any real value. It might be worth a quarter. We see that it is has a copper center in the coin. And of course, that's because it is a copper nickel clad copper. So this is a copper nickel mix on top of a copper center. And then here's another copper nickel mix. And then we get to the back here. And when we get to the back, we see that this you often see this with some of the rim doubling on the front. You see a wider rim on the back because it's a little tiny bit offset. Again, no value to this coin, but it just has some interesting features. The back of the coin, when we start looking at it, says down here E pluribus unum, and that's the one out of many, or the United States motto. Again, it says United States of America at the top. We have the torch in the center. We have the olive branch to the left. We have the oak to the right. So peace in power. And then underneath it says one dime, D-I-M-E. They took the S out and never actually used the S for the coinage that I'm aware of. When we look at these coins and say, okay, well, it's not an era coin in terms of a valuable era coin, but how about how much did they mint? And so right now we're talking about a coin that's 31 years old, but unfortunately they minted 1.3 billion of them. So whenever you make, as I've said this before in my videos, whenever you make a billion of anything, it's going to be unlikely that it will be valuable. And this one, of course, is not valuable. You can get it for 25 cents or a quarter or less pretty much anywhere. When you when we look a little deeper at it, we see it's a little bit inset down in here. But again, and this is close to the 1989, so this might be a little offset, and it might have a doubling of the rim. And if you got this in really good condition, it might be worth $15 or $20. If you get this with no errors on it, in MS65, it's worth about $4 to $5. So even if you get a really, really good version of this that hasn't been circulated, it's still going to be worth maybe $4 to $5 US. Now, are there any coins that are more valuable? Sure there are. If we look at the mint set version, this is the 1989 S or San Francisco mint. Now they only made about 3.25 million of these, and you see this one's still in the plastic. But look at the detail on here and look at this. This is worth $4 to $5, but you'd have to take it out of the set. And if we tip it up, you can see that it just is amazing, the detail on these if you get them from the mint set. That's a little scratch on the plastic. Again, the John Cynic there. And then let's look at the back, because the back of the mint set ones are so much more detailed. When we get to the back of a mint set version, we see what you look for in an MS65. You want double bands here, and see the doubling of the band down here, and then the cap on the bottom. You want to be able to see the fruit. You want to be able to, on the olive, you want to be able to see some separation here, and see how there's this little bit of root, broken branch that comes down from the oak. And then this one actually has a little tiny bit of doubling, but I'm not a big fan of doubling coins. And then you can see very clearly the one dime, the two dots here. These coins, you could actually get this in a silver version also, and that's obviously much more expensive. It's worth at least the $3+ in silver plus the rest. All right, well, that's pretty much all we have for my Found and Change 1989p, but it's kind of funny. Sometimes if you just take one of your coins and magnify it a little bit, you'll start to see all these little things on it that, had it not been so circulated, would have made it pretty valuable. So what did we find on this one? We found some doubling of the rim. We found a little bit offset where they put the picture down. We found on the back a real flattening, widening of the rim here. And actually, if we look at that closely, you see there's a little bit of splitting down here on this rim because it was the plates just didn't go on right. But still, I'd say, you know, this is worth a quarter or 25 cents or less. So no value for this 1989p US dime. How many did they make at Denver? Well, in Denver they made 900 million. So between uh, the three mints in 1989, they made 2.2 billion of these. And if you just get a circulating version, it's almost never going to be of any value. All right, have a great day from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.